Hi everyone, my name is Verx, and today we're just going to be talking about Star Rail. As you know, it just came out about 2 weeks ago, so I wanted to get on to the topic of discussing how the game feels, how it works, and everything about it. At the same time, this is also going to be mainly unscripted because I did think about making a long and arduous script, but after some reconsideration, I thought against it, and I kind of just let them do it live. Like, I have some thoughts about the game, and just want to discuss it here, so here we go. Going into first with combat, it's a lot more refined and a lot more enjoyable than I thought it would ever be. As we all know, Mihoyo is known for making action games. We have Honkai Impact 3rd and we have Genshin Impact, for example. So going into this, we didn't really have a good idea, or I didn't have a good idea on how the combat would actually flow. I was, sometime last year, I think during Closed Beta 2, I did actually get I was invited after registering to play the beta, given a chance to play the beta, but unfortunately I had things going on during that time, so I was unable to do it. I still watched like a few bit of gameplay and other things, but I was never able to fully grasp it, and I knew I would not be able to grasp the gameplay until I actually got my hands on it. So it's safe to say the combat and how it's executed here is done wonderfully. I am enjoying it a lot more than I thought it would, and I do play some turn-based RPGs, but I'm more like, I like action RPGs. Those are my bread and butter, I think. So going into here, I didn't know what to expect. You know, obviously you can say the call out of something like, I don't know, Persona 5 or something, because like you can say how it looks is similar, but there's obviously a lot of other games, and how it even works is so universally different to how Persona 5 or another game like Final Fantasy 7 works. So going into that, you know, I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have any expectations, but for what is both shown and what you can do in the game is quite fun. Now, how you play in combat kind of depends on characters you get in gacha, and also other stuff like light cones and how you may have to build your characters and such. But overall, it's very, very well made. Like, all the systems are able to work with one another, both in and out of combat. I do like the fact that you can spend technique points to either say if you wanted to raise your defense for a certain battle, like with the Trailblazer in the I think it's destruction or preservation path, I should say. You can do that. There's also attacks that just deal extra damage before the battle starts. You can also eat items, or eat or quote unquote use buffs for yourself and your party, which I do. My only complaint is I kind of wish you were able to use, if you didn't have certain characters like Bailu, for example, you didn't have that character, you'd be unable to revive party members, which, granted, things may change in the near future where characters are released to have certain buffs or things where you're able to stop them from dying, or they just revive automatically, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to gacha. Now, even still, I think the combat system in place works wonderfully. I like having to manage with my normal attacks and my skills, and then managing it with ultimates. And overall, it's very fun. It's fun to build up the skill meter, and then we used to just immediately use it all on one character, or save it for something else, and then I get ultimates after ultimate, and then it is party time. The fun never stops. There's some characters, as we know, like Welts. I love him. His move, he's great. He's great. I'm starting over my speech over this because he is genuinely so fun to just use, and completely have your turn will never end with him. It's great. It's fun. All in all, I'd say this is a very well-made turn-based combat system, and I look forward to seeing any new things they bring to the table with this system. The next thing I'd like to bring up is the presentation / world design that is in Star Rail. I love it. There's no words for me. There's not enough words for me to describe this, but it is good. I am very happy that this game is not fully open world. There is certain areas that are, say, big, but there's nothing to the level or scale of Genshin. And I bring up Genshin because comparing this to Genshin is crazy to think of. Genshin would take the time and probably the resources to, at the very least, model out cities and other things like that on a wide scale. And while they're nice to explore, modern day Genshin exploring is not that great of a thing to do. Sumeru is the biggest, I'd say, outlier in terms of how much space is taken up from the map just by that one region, because there is so much present on that, on the map. Here in Honkai, Star Rail, I should say, it feels like you feel. I would love to be able to explore fully all of Belbog, but I think just, given the areas that we're able to visit and see, it works out. And, I think it satisfies my imagination and my curiosity just enough to where I don't need to explore every street, every corner, every building, every rooftop. I like that it's grounded and there's areas that you see far away in the distance, but it's not a chore like Genshin where you have to get everything or find everything in a large map. It feels nice being condensed and just being able to walk a one street or like a small little city district and then go to another area where it's an abandoned city after the fragmentation came through and such. It's nice. Genshin and Star Rail are completely different games in terms of the sense like they have different goals in mind, so I understand why, say, Star Rail is not looking to be fully open world, but it is just nice. It's a 50-50 if I like open world games. I usually do. I don't mind them. I don't mind exploring it. It's like part of the joy of it, but after a while it does get very tiring, and Star Rail being the size it is just very nice. It's nice to see in like the modern day age of gaming where a lot of games are known for their massive worlds, but here it's like very condensed, easy to get through, easy to figure out where everything is. It's just very nice to play. Another thing to actually note is the performance on PC and mobile. Both ports or versions run really well. It's crazy to say because Genshin is, like I said, it's big, it's massive. But if you're on Star Rail, the game runs perfectly on mobile. And I often, if I'm busy during a day, I would just turn my phone on, get it to mobile, and it works out perfectly fine. Which is surprising to say at the very least, considering the state of modern gaming. Ports are known not to be that great, especially these days. But here, they've pulled it off once again. The last thing I'm going to bring up is in regards to both the story and its characters. Like combat, I didn't have a good or general idea for what was going to be going on throughout the Belbog arc and Herta Space Station. I was going in blind, and I didn't mind that at all, really. So, when it came to, now that I've finished the Belbog arc, I am kind of surprised that they were able to pull off not only success in the prologue, but also the first chapter of the story. Going from experience, it's very clear that some stories are hard to basically get into or even understand at some points when you're starting out, because the game is trying to throw all these new words and new terms at you that you may not have a good idea on or grasp even. And in the mix of that, you're also getting hit with gameplay and characters and everything else. So it's hard to pull off. It's hard to pull off both a first successful, let's say, prologue and also a first chapter. But it's done, like I said, done here really well. Herta's, I think the prologue especially, it just sets the ground for what's to come in the future. It sets, leaves a bit of mystery and intrigue for the player to, find and discover once they get done with that area. And then we're off to our first Stellaron case, which is at Belbog. And like I said, I've seen the screenshots and pictures of Belbog himself in trailers and everything else, so I had an idea for what it'd be like, but I didn't have an idea for what the story would be like. So going in blind once again, it surprised me at how good it was, how good the writing was, how good the characters were, and especially the characters. Seeing quote-unquote returning characters from Honkai / not Honkai, it's complicated if you will, but seeing the different versions of them, and some of the characters like Sealy and Bronya, I feel like are kind of inverses from what they are in Honkai Impact 3rd, but even so, it's like it plays so well. Those two, yes, the character, like I like the pairing a lot. I like those two characters together. They're very, they bounce right back and forth off each other, and it works really well. Same thing with the main crew of the Astral Express. It's crazy to say, I don't hate Paimon. Paimon is a character that is like reminding me of like any helpful / annoying character from like old games I used to play when I was a kid. And at the time I didn't hate those characters either. I didn't mind them. I just thought they were part of the adventure. Sadly they were part of the adventure. Sometimes you want to get rid of them if you know what I mean. But here, it feels weird. It feels like a rotating cast with the crew on the Astral Express. Welts being the old kind of knowing that he's from Honkai Impact 3rd, but he's like still like a mentor in a sense. We have Himiko, you could say the mother of the group in a way. Like she's insightful. Same as Welt, but Welt has more knowledge on him. Dang Han, he's both. I should say this. all the characters have a sense of mystery and intrigue around all of it, especially in the Astro Express, because, like, say Pom Pom, I know people say March 7th is meant to be the stand-in for Paimon, but I think Pom Pom is meant to be more like the Marco plushie, like the Paimon of the of Star Rail, and he's not annoying. He's lovable. I like him. I like the design. He's very cool, and he's just very, he may be small in size, but you never know what he can do. You never know. He just he can punch. Maybe he can pack a punch. You never know. But yeah, the entire crew of the Astro Express, I just love, and I love even more that there's with that cast, each adventure can rotate them out. So, just comparing Genshin once again, we have Paimon and the Travelers, who are they normally just travel alone together, across the table. And here, for say Belbog, for example, we had Dang Hun and March 7th come with the main character Yu to Belbog, and they wanted, and Himiko wanted to stay behind just so you yourself, the main character, had a chance to just figure things out. And granted, you got taken along for a ride that was a bit more crazier, but even still, it was still fun. And from what I've seen, the promise of the next area, you're going to get you're going to have, I think it's either going to be Welts, probably, most likely. So, I look forward to that. And like I said, it's nice just to have a rotating cast. It's nice to have more than 2 people being in a story and unfold it together. Like seeing the crew just, it works. It reminds me a lot of Impact Third, with how there's not necessarily one protagonist. I mean, you could say there's one protagonist for this game, but as the player, but there's multiple main characters. There's the main group, if you will, and I really, really like that. And so far, I haven't seen a character I've come to actively hate or dislike, which kind of shows to how Hoyoverse writes their characters. Sometimes they are kind of, standoffish or, annoying, but in a way that, they have reason for that, or they have, there's things that we don't know about them for why they act like that. And I don't hate it. I don't despise Paimon. Maybe that makes me crazy or, a bit weird, but it's just how it is. I mean, after a while, I think in some cases you either get used to it or you don't. But man, these casts of characters are all in the same vein, just fun to be. It's fun to spend time with. Like I almost forgot to mention actually this. Every time you log in for every day, a character will just text you, and in a way, it makes them feel a lot more alive and more, less than generic, if you will. And all the topics can just range from, come to, like for Serval, come see our band play, or March 7th is like, okay, what are you doing currently? And you can respond with like being, I'm busy, or I'm grinding some materials in some, area, like, making a meta joke, if you will, or you're just doing nothing. And it's fun. It's fun seeing these interactions, and it's just kind of, it's a weird system, but like for this setting of game, sci-fi space, that also has phones that can connect across, various star systems. It works. We're not gonna try and think about what kind of phone builder paying here, but yeah, it's overall good times. It's good times. And that's my general thoughts on Star Rail. I'm gonna try and play this a little bit more, progress more in the story. Hopefully, by the time we finish this recording, I'll get more farther in and hopefully be closer to where the interlude occurs. So there's that. As for my next video, well, with my timing and slow upload speed, it could be on anything. And it could be anything that's appearing on the screen right now. It could be about something else completely random. Who knows? But keep an eye out. And if you like what you saw, just comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Verx, and I will be seeing you in the stars. If not, in the ground, hopefully not 6 feet under. See ya.